already know what it is. It's your girl, Shady, aka Cartier, and the best co-pilot in the world.
Your boy Moby. We out here for the unknown labs.
Yeah, buddy. Welcome back. Season 4, episode question mark.
Episode whatever. We're in September.
Wow, this guy.
We're in September.
We're trying to keep up. Yeah, pretty crazy. This episode came about like literally just. I mean, I feel like looking at the world around you. I don't know how other way to say it. Honestly, it's I feel like it's on a little bit of the emotional side. Like we getting deep in a different kind of way, not like dark web in your mind, but like another part of your mind, but closer to your heart. Anyway, what's good, Mobius? How you been?
I'm okay. More stuff's happening. What was the last time we did like a really good news one?
Good news?
Yeah,
I feel like never.
Right.
I feel like we be trying to end it with like maybe one positive thing or like a few
wasn't
positive
it Christmas
things.
or something?
This guy, he won't go all the way
No,
back
I'm just saying because
Christmas.
I'm thinking like, man, I want to be like, hey, good news, like the doctor from Futurama, good news, everyone, and then we just kind of vibe, but every time we start one of these things, it's just like, hey, so it's only gonna get worse.
Right. Yo, and I think we definitely said that in like season 1 or season 2. We were like,
it's going to get worse.
If you don't know, now you know. We are. Listen, we trying to touch you on a deep level, bro, and that pulls at some strings sometimes. So you know, it's reality's fucked up. We had a couple episodes called Sick Sad World, and I was like, well, after we did like the second Sick Sad World, like Sick Sad World Part 2, 5, 6, 7, 8 months later or whatever, it was just like, you know what? This could literally be the title of every episode. Like, should we just be unknown unknowns presenting the Sick Sad World podcast laboratory, whatever the fuck? Like, bro, that's how bad it is, bro. Like, so yes, that was a good point to make. Sometimes it's hard to find good news, and we literally have an example right now when I was just trying to find some good news. It was like, this is good, but not in the way that I would like it to be. But anyway, what you got going on, Moby? It's gaming news. You know how we do.
All right. So we got
the best news ever. Moby Dead Island.
Yes.
Okay.
I finally did it for her birthday. What do you want this year? For
my birthday.
What do you want this year? What's out? It took 10 years, y'all. It took 10 years, but they did it.
What are we supposed to do when motherfuckers is taking drugs because they are sick and tired of living? They got these movies coming out called The Matrix. People are questioning basic reality. Let me tell you this. If there is a consequence, this ain't no dream, okay? And
escapism is the new way of life.
And it's dangerous. It's dangerous, bro. It's dangerous. And so people are giving up their time and their energy for nothing. And so it got me to thinking, with all this fake and not real, how do we have good relationships in our life? Or what type of relationships do we have? And what type of people do we have these relationships with? Now that may sound silly, tongue twisting, but let's get deeper to what I'm trying to say. You have your family relationships. You have people you went to school with. You have associates. You have, I guess, these internet social relationships or friendships. People that you might not necessarily see in person, but you still have developed these relationships with, and you continue to communicate. And then there's the people that you absolutely don't know at all, that you allow to have access to your thoughts and your dreams and your sadness and your confusion and your emotions and all that stuff that you're sharing voluntarily on your phone. And then there's the other, let's say, million that's working for the 1% that you have granted access to your information when you downloaded that app in the first place, that you're sharing your life on. So when you think you're just sharing...
Don't forget your friendly FBI agent.
Oh, God. This is living inside your laptop. Your webcam. I love that t-shirt. I really love that t-shirt. That joint was everything to me. Anyway, all these different levels of relationship, how are you deciphering which ones are good for you or not? Okay, so that was my super long-winded way of saying today's episode is about the toxicity of our city, Toxic relationships, the toxicity, the people that you meet, the people that you don't meet, the people you associate with, every interaction in your life and how it affects you. Or do you even realize it affects you? Do you even realize that you are surrounded by volatile people? I don't know. Mobius, what is the definition of a toxic relationship?
A toxic relationship is one that makes you feel unsupported, misunderstood, demeaned, or attacked. A relationship is toxic when your well-being is threatened in some way, either emotionally, psychologically, and even physically.
Yeah. So I think somebody would probably just hear that and probably be like, oh, nah, we good. But, like, you have to put some thought into really trying to understand. And so some people, bless you, some people are immediately already lost. What they're not even going to do is think twice or question their relationship or what's going on or that something could even be wrong. That's problem number one. And that's your own personal red flag. Are you afraid to address what's going on in the real world? What's happening right in front of you in your life? Are you afraid to, well, I guess address it is the best way to put it. Like, spend time with it. Inhale it, exhale it. Like, bro, like, really look me in my eyes. Like, come on. Man in the mirror. Like, it's a deep thing and it's very hard. And it gets very emotional. And I feel like a lot of people in this day and age, they're looking into their phone and they're not at all looking in the mirror.
Or
they're looking into... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Or their partners. You're looking at your phone, but you're not looking internally, and you're certainly not looking at your partner to make sure
that they're okay.
Yeah.
Or that they're doing what they need to be doing mentally as well. Wow, that was good. Y'all are looking at y'all phones. Y'all are looking at the cameras. Y'all are looking at the comments. Y'all are looking everywhere except deep inside yourself. There is so much power that was granted to us. Sorry to get preachy. Thank the creator of this world, whoever that may be for you. Unless you're not a creationist, then I don't know what to tell you. Go flat earthers. I don't know what's going on, but it sounds good. Yeah. I'm very grateful. And I feel like a lot of people are not in the place of wanting to fix or truly see. And so that's what we're going to talk about. I want to make it a little bit easier for you. You don't have to sit here and listen to me tell you that your life is fucked up. No, let's participate in this little game of question answer. Are you this guy? Is this your life? I really hope it's not. But I hope you learn stuff. Like, the point is for us to stay ahead of the game. Like, it ain't got to get all, mushy and all that. I'm going to try my best. But the point is to really see what's in the game as I sip my honey vanilla coffee. 10 signs of an unhealthy relationship. While everyone does, and shout out to this website, me and Mobius said this was pretty clever. Joinonelove.org. Shout out to you, because we are going to use you as a reference point as we slide through and try to help people see what's going on. While everyone does unhealthy things sometimes, we can all learn to love better by recognizing unhealthy signs and shifting to healthy behaviors. If you are seeing unhealthy signs in your relationship, it is important not to ignore them and understand that they can escalate to abuse. So, just reading that, what comes to mind, Mobius?
The website or the quote?
What they just said, what?
Well, I know you had a reference earlier.
I'm so annoyed. Mobius is not here. Let's try this again. Anthony. Oh my gosh. Please cut that out. I read it and then I asked Mobius, what is this about? Okay. While everyone does unhealthy things, we can all learn to love better by recognizing unhealthy signs and shifting to healthy behaviors. If you're seeing unhealthy signs in your relationship, it is important not to ignore them and understand that they can escalate to abuse. If you think you're in a dangerous situation, trust your gut and get help. Like what? That wasn't one of the signs, by the way.
No.
So, Mobius, what did that make you think about though?
Getting gaslit, just pretty much anything that's not supportive. Like a friend of mine had recently ended a relationship they were in because they felt like they weren't getting the support they needed from their partner. And it was something as little as, I shouldn't say as little, it was something to them that was like a disagreement between their friends or something like that. And they just, hey, this is what happened, blah, 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 what do you think? And then their partner just didn't back them up. And you don't necessarily have to do that. You don't have to be a yes man. You don't have to...
Right.
But
there's still a way to make your spouse feel supported or not alone, or in some situations not attacked.
And that didn't happen, so...
Okay, well, that was pretty deep. What came to mind for me in that statement was actually two things. It said the word love. While everyone does unhealthy things, sometimes we can all learn to love better by recognizing unhealthy signs. That's really important because I feel like we need to focus on two things with the word love. I feel like we need to focus on two things with the word love. The love for yourself and the love for other people. This is a very serious thing. Like, and they made it sound good. I know they shooting. I don't know if you can hear they shooting. They definitely shooting. Yep. And if you can hear any of the gunshots, it's totally cool. You can leave those in. If you can't hear them, you can probably cut that out. It sounds weird. All right. So you gotta love yourself before you can learn how to love other people. And definitely recognizing the unhealthy signs is important. So that's all I want to focus on. And cut that as much as possible so it's, like a minute, not 5 minutes. I felt like that just took forever to get that out. So let's start. Number 1, unhealthy relationships. The intensity. Oh boy, I got a story for this. Intensity. When somebody expresses very extreme feelings, over the top behavior, and becomes overwhelming. Things are getting too intense and you feel like this person is rushing in the pace of the relationship too strong and too fast. And they seem obsessive about wanting to be with you and see you. So first of all, let me address this. When you're feeling that intensity, you don't know that things are too intense. You don't know that you are feeling overwhelmed. You think this is exciting and this is fear and adrenaline and you're doing something you've never done before. You know what I'm saying? Like you justifying these feelings in a positive way. But, so I just wanted to clarify that because it's not like, and it's hard to judge whether you're moving too strong or too fast until you get I feel like it's a separation period. So let me tell my story. I felt like when I went to college, I learned what brainwashing is. I spent, whenever I notice people spending time with each other for more than 7 days consecutively, like seeing each other every day, even if you didn't spend a night with each other, you're seeing each other every day. And probably really soon after that, if not within the 7 days, you definitely spending the night. Whether you're sleeping together or not is a moot point. That's a moot point. Spending time with these people, whether same sex or opposite sex, whether we're talking about the one you're attracted to or not, let me make that clear. There is something that happens. And the longer the period of time goes, it solidifies this foggy feeling of, I feel like I've known you all my life.
Uh-huh.
I feel like they say that shit in movies, and I be like, have I ever met anybody where I was like, love at first sight? I feel like I knew you all my life. No. But what I have experienced is this 7 consecutive days, 14 consecutive days, 21 consecutive days. That is a very dangerous game. Intensity is a very dangerous game, and people try to justify it by being like, chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
You heard? I feel like we heard that TV shows, movies. Any comment on that one?
Yeah. There's something to be said about, new and excitement and stuff like that, especially if there's the proverbial spark or whatever.
The proverbial
spark.
I love it.
Because it's bullshit. At least for people of the opposite sex. Like there's something, and then okay, you're supposed to chill out and ease into it. And
is it lust? Is it love?
Right.
Is it boredom?
You got to figure it out.
Are you hopping over on top of somebody else to get over
the rebound?
Hopping under someone else to get over someone else. I was like messing that up. Anyway.
So the rebound. It's
terrible.
It's a whole thing. So you got to figure out, and don't play games with yourself. You got to figure out what's happening internally, and once you do that, you'll have a better understanding of. You should at least try to have a better understanding of what the other person's wants or needs are. If everything's fine and you're like, okay, let's see where this goes, and it just keeps going and going, hey, that's good. You might actually turn this into something that could go to distance, and that could be either just a good friendship or you could have a partner. But if you're just spending that much time around somebody because you don't want to be alone,
we are gonna get into characteristics. That is one of them. The lonely characteristic. Having to constantly fill the void.
Yeah.
Mobius is getting real deep over here. You tapping on too many. All right, save it for the next one. Possessiveness. When someone is jealous to the point where they try to control who you spend time with and what you do. While jealousy is a normal human emotion, it becomes unhealthy when it causes someone to control or lash out at you. This means getting upset when you hang out with other people. I think we get the point. Like, come on. Possessiveness is often excused as being overprotective or having really strong feelings for someone. That's what I'm talking about. What are the excuses that we use to justify these red flags? Because we gotta know, I think everybody listening to this know what a red flag is. Mm-hmm. It means when you seen it, you knew it, and you brushed that shit off your shoulder like, oh, you was in it. Love is Blind, the Eve song, the whole thing, the shabam. You got finessed, finagled, played. Scram. I don't know what to tell you. Bro, we got to stop justifying other people's bad behaviors. We got to stop ignoring red flags. And a huge red flag is definitely if that person doesn't want you around anybody else. Because
there was, I think it was Jonah Hill. They were talking about him doing that, and you keep talking
and doing a lot of coke. And what I was going to say is, it starts with it always starts somewhere. When you see these behaviors and you ignore them, normally that's because the behaviors are outwards towards other people, or them doing it towards themselves, and you may be justifying it. Oh, they never do it to me, whatever the case is. It starts somewhere. It always starts somewhere. So if it's going to end up with the psychotic as you not allowed to be around nobody, it's probably going to start something like, well, I don't want you to see that person that you knew from high school. Well, I don't want you to see that talking to that person that just talked to you, random stranger in the grocery store. Well, I don't want to see you talking to any men. Or I don't want to see you talking to any women. It's that shit is going to slowly escalate to more shit depending on how psychotic the person that you're dealing with is. And always know, even when you think somebody is a little crazy, you don't know how deep the crazy go, bruh. You think, oh, that's cute crazy. They low-key stalking me because they love me and they like me. No. All right, go ahead, Mobius. Respect, however.
I'm still looking. But basically, it's a conversation between Jonah Hill and his then partner, and he's making a list. And this is from BuzzFeed, so take it with a grain of salt. But this was all over the internet like 2 months ago. This is back in July. He's sending screenshots asking her to do stuff like his partner then was a professional surfer, so a lot of these photos are of her dressed in what you would wear when you're swimming or surfing, which is beachwear,
scantily clad,
right?
Beachwear.
And so he's like, hey, I'd appreciate it if you
take a surfboard and stick it up your
a thong. He's saying like, hey, I would appreciate it if publicly, your socials and stuff, you would remove most of that. I would rather not have other people looking at you like that.
You sound psychotic if she's a surfer, bro. Yeah. What? This is her literal work outfit, half naked. You knew that when you start messing with her, bro. Listen. This just leads into the next one. Manipulation. The possessiveness. Manipulation always comes in because they trying to convince you. If they have a one-on-one straight and narrow conversation with you, they know they're not going to get away with the shit that they trying to get you to do. So what they do is kind of slide. Like I said, if there's a plan B end game, is there a plan Z, the end game? It got to start with A. What? I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. With the letter A. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. Listen. Number 3 on the list is manipulation. When someone tries to control your decisions, actions, or emotions, manipulation is often hard to spot because it can be expressed in a subtle or passive-aggressive way. You know you're being manipulated if someone is trying to convince you to do things that don't feel comfortable doing, that you don't feel comfortable doing. Or they ignore you until they get their way, or they try to influence your feelings. These are things that you can really repeat to yourself and just repeat it to yourself and think about your past relationships. Has anybody ever tried to do these things to you? You need to really get to the bottom of what are the type of people that you allow in your life. And do they show you the value and what you're truly worth? Go ahead. That's tough. It's deep.
That kind of just leads into what the Jonah Hill thing was saying. Like, to be fair, like in a proper relationship, if you're just starting out and that's a boundary of his and he's communicated that, okay. If
the relationship is over.
No, I'm saying.
Maybe it should be.
Well, if that's her perspective, but that's.
I'm saying if you're communicating that it makes you uncomfortable, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
That Jonah is telling, and you're saying early
at the beginning.
What is this beginning?
Literally
3 to 6 months.
No, I'm saying when you're making the point to say, hey, we're exclusive now. This makes me uncomfortable.
Okay.
If you're still
this
openly
is my clear
dating,
boundary. This is my clear boundary.
Yes.
Okay, so we said that we're having a conversation. This ain't no assumption because we smashing regularly that we're in a relationship.
No, now we've
actually said it.
I just want to be upfront that these pictures make me uncomfortable, but I respect your career.
No, you don't.
Can we do something about that?
Them? No, we can't.
And that okay, and then that's
Mobius can't even get it out. I'm like, absolutely no.
And then but that's a conversation that would have to be had between them. Like
no, but I'm saying that's what she's saying though. She's saying no, right?
I don't know,
and that's why there was all crazy text messages.
Beginning of
but you ain't married.
No,
right, and so. Okay, so we're gonna get into, boundaries, or maybe I should. Yeah, because that's a pretty serious subject right there. Quick and easy, but really serious. Boundaries are not as easy.
Mm-hmm.
A lot, like, really, self-work is not easy. Like, I know we already said this, and it has to be said a million times. It's like the whole get rich quick schemes. Normally, in order to really get rich quick, you may or may not end up dead or in jail. Like, it's probably not a recommended method. It's a marathon, not a race.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, marathons are races, right? Or no?
They're more first,
of like
but it's
accomplishing it. Yeah. Period. Yeah. So anyway, the next one on the list is isolation. When somebody keeps you away from friends, family, or other people, the behavior often starts slowly. Wait, didn't we already do that? No. Okay, so it just sounds really similar to possessiveness, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want you all to myself. I'm obsessive. You're being weird. Number 5, sabotage. When someone purposely ruins your reputation, achievements, or success, to me that sounds like we're breaking up. Oh, or when I get mad at you,
mm-hmm.
I do something bad and I'm justifying my bad behavior with
your fault. You did
right,
this to
it's
me.
Your fault. You did this to me. It's way too close to me. I'm so loud. This is ridiculous. Yeah, that's not okay. So, oh my goodness, I hate to say this. I hope they never listen, and I think they'll probably be the last person to listen. But someone adjacent to in my life is I would definitely say they did the sabotage thing. They posted naked photos. That's
a lawsuit. And jail time.
That's hard. But you're a family though, meaning they have kids. So that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's really, really hard. So anyway, one of the things that I said when we first started this was love. That's a topic that's really strong, and we're going to tackle that because I feel like a lot of love is missing out of these unhealthy relationship characteristics, right? Okay, if this person is belittling you, number 6, when someone does and says things to make you feel bad about yourself, this includes name calling, making rude remarks about people you're close with, or criticizing you. It is also belittling when someone makes fun of you in a way that makes you feel bad, even if it's played off as a joke. Over time, this can make you lose confidence in yourself and your abilities. The voices inside of your head, bro, don't let them be of the person in your life that does not truly love and support you. And don't let it be of the person that claims to love and support you and makes you feel bad or guilty. That is not going to work, okay? Because again, I know when you're in that situation, you're not seeing it as easy as they're trying to sabotage me, destroy me, or put me down, or keep me from being successful. But at the end of the day, they're trying to do anything that's going to keep you close to them. So if you get too successful, you won't be desperate enough to do anything and everything that they need you to do. You're going to have bigger and better responsibilities. If you get this raise at your job and you work more hours, then now you can't be a slave to me. Number 7, guilting. When someone makes you feel responsible for their actions or make you feel like it's your job to keep them happy, they may blame you for things that are out of your control and make you feel bad for them. This includes threatening to hurt themselves or others if you don't do as they say or stay with them. They might also pressure you to do something that you are not comfortable with by claiming it's important to them or that it'll hurt their feelings if you don't do it. Now, I can definitely take like hella responsibility. I've been told this in relationships, but I never understood what I was doing wrong. And honestly, the combination of these words sound really fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it definitely has to be the what
Context.
I mean, absolutely. In my defense, it's context for me. But it has to be all of these things to create that negative, unhealthy thing that they're talking about, which is guilting. Because I feel like unconsciously, like I had this conversation with somebody about their mom, because I want y'all to not just think about, we're talking about boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and wives, friends, lovers, like come on, no, even your family. And I feel like this is a major mom characteristic. And then I'm also the oldest, so I feel like I was already built on this in the first place. And it's definitely something that I have accused mom of doing.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like you're just trying to make me feel bad to do something. I don't think when I am doing this action, I don't think I'm doing it. I don't feel as if I'm trying to make anybody feel bad. I'm trying to level the playing field, because I feel like whatever I'm telling you is not registering sympathy, empathy, emotion, understanding. If nothing else, if you can't give me an ounce of understanding, I'm feeling really fucking alone. So what is it that I have to say out of my mouth to get you to see me? And sometimes that can absolutely go too far. Because then sometimes you might just say some outrageous shit. Like, some shit that ain't even true. You just gonna say it because you know it's gonna stir the motherfucking pot. It has no place in this conversation.
That turns into like, you're not arguing about whatever you're arguing about.
The real issue.
You're arguing just to win, and that's not what it's about.
And I don't be wanting to do that either. I do not be wanting to do that. I feel like there's a whole bunch of taking you down this long path or journey to try to prove a fucking point that I felt like we should have been able to see eye to eye in the first place. If you understand me, we can at least agree to disagree, right or wrong. But you have to understand me first. You have to make your partner feel like they're not crazy.
Or being attacked.
And if they are crazy, then, they just got to keep it moving. My baby's at the door. Okay, number 8, volatility. When someone has really strong, unpredictable reaction that makes you feel scared, confused, or intimidated. A volatile person makes you feel like you need to walk on eggshells around them, or they will have an extreme reaction to small things. Your relationship with them might feel like a roller coaster that contains extreme ups and downs. They might overreact to small things, have major mood swings, or lose control by getting violent, yelling, or threatening you. Absolutely. You piss me off. I'm getting violent. I'm yelling. I'm threatening you. Okay, I'm definitely not doing the threats. Yeah. That's not of my character at all. This is definitely not good. Have you ever experienced anybody in your life like that, and you was like, I just need to stay away from?
In a relationship, no.
Just
anybody in general.
Yeah, like you saw these things and you were like, I'm gonna be over here. Yeah.
Sometimes Pop, stepdad, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially him.
Yeah, but that was alcohol. So when we were young, obviously, that you see adults drinking, but you don't understand what that means until there's a pattern, which I recognized at a very young age, and it made me hate alcohol. And so, it is what it is. The things that happen to us in our youth is shape us. That's another thing I made a tab on. Hurt people at the end of the day. And so we also got to keep that in mind. Like, if you see all these unhealthy things, I'm going to tell you, there's a whole lot of things that are going to tell you, if you want to marry somebody, make sure you keep these things in mind. You know, are you recognizing the red flags? Are they, what are they, hard nose? What's the other word did you say? Deal breakers.
Deal breakers.
Are they deal breakers for you? And are you marrying this person because you think they're fine the way you are? Or are you thinking that maybe they can change over time? And then they say, if you're trying to think that somebody's going to change over time, then you shouldn't marry them. Well, if I'm with this person and I truly believe that they're smart on the level that I think they're on, right? Not on my level, but like I'm thinking that one day they will grow.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm thinking you're a responsible person, you're not going to stay the same way forever. That's what I'm thinking. So it doesn't have to be you're changing or you're growing absolutely in the way that I need you to grow, but just that you're changing or you're growing, period,
Mm-hmm.
in a positive direction should mean somewhere along the line that you realize that you wasn't your best before.
Right.
Like, if nothing else, if we're not going to point the finger at nothing particular, am I better today than I was today last year?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what am I doing to become better? Because otherwise, you're just fucking yourself over. What is your future? What is your plan? Where the fuck you going to end up if you're not trying to become better than what you are?
Yep.
But also, when you're young and you're getting in relationships, you're not thinking about none of that shit.
No. Because that's the most important thing in the world at that moment. But everything is everything is the most important thing in the world when you're 20-something.
And she'll do anything for everything. I forgot which artist said that in a song, but that's some really deep stuff. You know, I know most of our audience is older people, but I just really wish, like, I don't know what we have to do to get a younger audience to tune in. Because my goal is really to give y'all the game. Like, I'm sure some older people that's like, damn, I've been living one way. Maybe I need to switch up. But for the most part, you know, at my age, I look at older people like, I hope y'all got this shit figured out, because I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping that by the time I make it to your age, that I finally do.
Well, that's the whole point about getting older, is realizing that you don't have it figured out
at all,
and then just kind of going with it. Whereas when you're
young,
something
to
to 20 to 20s, and now in your 30s, you're like,
think you know everything.
I think I know everything, and I haven't figured it out. And that's what's killing people, is the fact that they don't know
or try.
It's you don't know what you don't know, and they don't know that it's okay to not have it figured it out. You know,
it's the ignorance is bliss for me.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to make any effort. I'm putting zero effort towards even trying to figure out what the fuck is going on around me.
Which is fair.
I ask somebody a question and they don't answer the question, so I'm not going to put no more additional effort into figuring out for myself or trying to have an understanding. The train of bullshit continues, but we really want to break the cycle here on the unknown unknowns. So you already know what to do. Hit us on the Instagram. Unknown, period, unknowns. Instead of a O, it's a 0. And instead of a S on the second unknowns, it's a 5. Please, get with it. Unknown, period, unknowns. Get with it, man. Let us know what you think. What's coming to mind. Tell us about your unhealthy relationships. If anybody want to come on the show and talk about how, you know, they broke out of it. What was their motivation? I felt like in my life, in my friendships, I've seen a lot of change with children. You know, and so with me finally being a mom, I'm like, okay, yeah, I absolutely get it. Like, you want to be better than you was. Like, you don't want none of the consequences and the shit that circumstances that you had. You don't want that for your child. You want better. So, you know, we gotta do better. Number 9, deflecting responsibility. This is a big one for me. This really hurts my feelings to the motherfucking core. Like, if nothing else, I'm gonna tell you like this: what a real pimp do, other than talk slick and look fly, is they are very good at either one of the two. Deflecting responsibility so you always feel like you owe them, or taking accountability and being like, but I'm in charge and I run that shit, and so that's why. I could do the shit. Your job is this and my job is this. You feel me? Like, these are characteristics of pimps. That's not what we're talking about. Okay, deflecting responsibility. When someone repeatedly makes excuses for their unhealthy behavior, they may blame you or others for their actions. Often this includes making excuses based on alcohol or drug use, mental health issues, very serious, or past experiences like a cheating ex or divorced parents. This is not cool. Even these things having to be pointed out is not cool. That means use a real coward, bro. You a real coward if these are the things you lying on. Because it's people that's really getting abused and abusing people because of drugs and alcohol. There are people who are genuinely losing their fucking mind. Not the people who do it regularly because they know and they don't give a fuck. We're not talking about those people, okay? Like, those people, yes, you are deflecting your responsibility. You are a fucking jerk. But there are people who are really dealing with real life situations with mental health. So you are a trash person if you are lying on your mental health. And this is a really tough subject too. Because how do you tell somebody who's telling you that my mind fucked up? How do you tell them, no, it ain't? How do you do that? And so maybe you just need to step away from that person.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know how to help them, you will end up hurting you or them. And, you know, I hate to say this because I've definitely lost friends or felt that I lost friends because of my mental health issues when I was younger. I thought because they had mental health issues, of course they were different. And I didn't know when I was young that I had these issues. I thought I would be accepted and I wasn't. And then I realized as an adult, how could a crazy person accept you? Another crazy person. But anyway, it's difficult. And, you know, if you ever find out someone that you trust is lying about these things, first I want you to take it with a grain of salt. You've only known them for so long. You don't know their entire life, right? It really could be some deep-rooted things that you just don't know about. So don't judge in a prerequisite manner. Like, just, that's what I'm saying. Like, the best thing I can say is just to walk away from it. Because only time will tell. Okay? But don't put nobody down. And don't discourage nobody that tells you that they are dealing with mental health issues. So, that's something that really hit home for me. Like, I feel like everybody in this country, everybody in the world who isn't trying to secure their mental health, whether that's reading books, self-help books, whether that's seeing an actual therapist, whether that's meditating or praying, you know, doing something to check in with yourself. Hey, listening to Michael Jackson, standing in the mirror. Like, if you're not doing those things, I think that's what real mental health looks like. What do you have to say about that? Does that make sense to you?
I'm adding on to it. Self-reflection is a big part of that. Like, what's the saying? If you're thinking the same thoughts, if you feel like you're the same person you were 5 or 10 years ago, then you're not evolving, you're not growing. Something's wrong. And so,
and insanity. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing the same way over and over, and expecting something different. Yeah, it's insane.
So,
yeah.
That's all I wanted to add to that.
Okay, but yeah, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't tripping. I wasn't going off too far on a tangent. Betrayal is the 10th one. When someone is disloyal or acts unintentionally or intentionally dishonest in an intentionally dishonest way, they may act different. They may act like a different person around people or share private information with you about others. It also includes lying purposely, leaving you out, being two-faced, or cheating on you. So this is a characteristic that we would see in a person and probably not be like, they are a betrayer or a traitor. Like, you probably wouldn't think of it like that. They definitely have they have several toxic characteristics. They don't value you. They don't value themselves. They seem to be using people. They probably have a bunch of different people in their life. So they are probably don't want to be alone, always seeking adventure, never really happy.
Mm-hmm.
It's giving, I have a void and I'm trying to fill. And those people are also dangerous. You cannot fix what's broken and belongs to somebody else. You can't. So just a few examples I feel like that have been in pop culture. Blueface and Krishan, absolutely great example of a toxic relationship, but also of these toxic characteristics being praised in a popular manner in an open forum that is the world, social media. And I think that's very dangerous because everybody's watching. And so they're setting an example, being celebrities, whether they mean to or not. I know no matter how many drugs you take, you know what you're really doing out here. And so if the goal is just to stay in the bright light, to get money, to get attention, to get more deals, to get more opportunities, that all sounds good. But the amount of people, the generational effects that you guys are leaving behind, I think she's a gorgeous young lady. She has an immense talent and skill to be happy with the man such as that. That's on her. And it's just very sad and very unfortunate. The way she felt the need to show her body during her pregnancy, that was a little stressful for me. I believe there's a time and a place. And so you just got to watch out for these characteristics. It's on both sides. Like there's character flaws on both sides. And so when we talk about like pointing out these toxic things, these characteristics to look out for, I definitely want to touch on what are the reasons why people are so toxic. Because even just figuring out what's wrong with them, again, if you love these people, if you don't want to walk away from these people, if you want to believe in these people, if you do want to continue to have a relationship with them because you're hoping for the best in the future, maybe they will change or grow or whatever, you got to have some type of psychological background or understand of what made this person toxic. And this may be hard to get out of them, to get them to communicate with. But again, hurt people. And so whether it's something from their childhood or things that have been demonstrated to them, or whether they have been brainwashed in the way that the government has been trying to brainwash us through TV and movie and video games and books and what else? Joyride, whatever. Like all of these different things that are having us worship anything and everything other than truly understanding ourselves.
Yeah.
It's the trap. It's the trap. I don't know. Like we said in the beginning, it always end up going downhill. But at the end of the day, I just want us to be able to still have a heart. Don't walk around like, why me? Why, they hate me, the world hates me, whatever. No, these people could have been abused, bro. These people just really could have been, like, you have no idea. Like,
bad hand.
There's a reason why some people escape into TV and video games so heavily. There's people who, yes, they love it, they're addicted, they have no boundaries or self-control. We're not talking about that. We're talking about people who are deeply affected by what happened around them, and so they have to run away. Like something has broken within them that makes them feel like that this is the only option. And unfortunately, it's becoming so much of a norm that's a societal problem. So I looked up, how do you explain the statement that hurt people hurt people? One of the statistics that came to mind is they said like there's like a high range of rapists who were raped as children. So whether it's child rapists, adult rapists, whatever the case is, they were raped as children hurt people. Like, this is not just a statement that's made, a philosophical statement that was just made from nowhere. There are facts to back it up. If we are aware that bullying is wrong, then why do we do it? The truth is that hurt people tend to hurt people. This phrase means that often bullies are individuals who themselves have undergone or are currently enduring some form of emotional or physical pain. So I guess bullying, that was a good example too. Absolutely. Other examples of publicly toxic relationships. Of course, everybody, I really didn't want to talk about the Chris Brown and Rihanna thing, but the thing that's worth noting is if you are in a relationship with physical abuse, and I know in the list it talked about being hurt, anybody hurting you, it's easy to say HURT and just think, oh, well, he slapped me, but it wasn't that bad. Mm-hmm. Oh, he punched me in my face, but it didn't leave a bruise. Oh, he slammed the car door on me, but it was an accident. Like, when you're trying to justify these things, somebody needs to come out and tell you, if somebody puts their hands on you, if they use an object to hurt you with, you need to run and get away from that situation. Period. I don't think that time at the party, whenever he beat her ass and the whole America found out, mm-hmm. I don't think that was the first time. And supposedly that was the last time, but we don't know. We don't know. We're not them. And then a Johnny Depp and what the girl name is, goodness. Amber Heard. Yeah. All I see is drugs and alcohol. Okay, ain't nobody follow that case. Somebody follow the case. Drugs and alcohol is all I see. That's all I've heard was, oh, I was drunk, justification. Oh, he was drunk too. Oh, he did this to me first. Who did it first? Who did it second? This time, that time. Listen, if you are in a relationship or you start a relationship, let me put it like that. If you start a relationship and all y'all doing is drinking and smoking and shooting up and snorting and all the things that y'all want to do, I want you to know that it might not end well. If one day somebody wake up and dies from the drugs, it's not going to end well. Deep depression, or maybe you'll get clean. That'll be great. But the latter is a lot more likely to happen. And that's just the worst scenario, right? The best scenario would be one of you grow out of this drug habit and this drug usage. Mm-hmm. Some people grow out of it and then they're still forced by their spouse to do these drugs, to do this alcohol, to do these things that I'm doing that keeps me numb and complacent and mentally in a place of never going up, never seeing the positive, the light, the sky, always living in darkness, living in fear, living in unhappiness and misery. You got to let those things go. You got to bind those things up and you got to walk away. Something has to change. You need to open up your eyes. There are some other options out there, whether it's the hard way or not. That's up to your lazy ass to determine whether it's worth it for you to do better. And that's all we be asking on the unknown unknowns. Yeah, we ain't perfect. We ain't got this shit down packed, but we see it's some really fucked up shit going on, bro. And we know, like, y'all affected like we affected. The black community is affected. Erica Mena and Safari has affected so much of the black community. My sister, cousin, friend, one of these people told me that they just couldn't watch it no more because it is embarrassing to see the Love and Hip Hop series. I don't think it's on anymore, but it's disgusting to see how they, what people do with marriage. If you are supposed to love somebody, that really means chance after chance. That means when you're doing all the things that I hate and disgust, I'm not going to abandon you. I'm not going to walk away from you. It's like what we think about the love for a mother and a child is until we see all these parents who kick their kids out into the street, who tell them that they choosing the person that they want to smash on over their own damn children that came out their body. Mm-hmm. Like it's a lot that comes with true unconditional love, and that's something that, again, we do not have for ourselves, so we are not giving to others. These people that we telling, I'm loyal to you, I got your back, I'm gonna hold you down forever, y'all are not giving it 100% because you don't even know what the hell you doing on your own self. You don't know. If you don't know what love is, you ain't got no business getting involved in a marriage. You ain't got no business bringing children into this world. Be fruitful and prosper, absolutely. But don't bring in another concern or pain and suffering reminder for the rest of the world. Because that kid could turn into Hitler. I don't know.
No, you're not wrong.
I mean, cause, again, hurt people. So if you fuck that child up.
And then, like, so, you know, y'all don't know, but she knows. Like, or at least my partner does. Anytime, you know, just the little things, just saying hello to people, you know, hey, how you doing? And when I come in the house and my roommate's there, it's like, hey, I'm back. And when I leave, hey, I'm out. That little
Respect.
stuff, you know, it's respect, but it's you don't know what people are going through. And there's
Yeah.
I won't say there's so many times, but I hear it enough where, you know, either here in the U.S., the youth, or in other countries where people were like, if somebody would have just stopped me and said hello or put their hand on me and stuff like that. So I'm like, you know, it's not
if somebody would have looked at me,
Yeah.
saw me.
Mm-hmm.
Because the show I was watching earlier said, the girl said, if nobody sees you, you're a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment one person sees you, you're not anymore.
No.
What is gonna stop you saying just hello, opening a door for somebody, smiling at somebody? Mobius said it. It's so serious. You don't know what people are going through. All they needed was you to put your arm out to stop them from going over that cliff, from taking those pills, from grabbing that knife, any of those things.
People don't like small talk. But that's a big part of American culture. It's just, hey.
And getting to know strangers.
Yeah.
Like,
we used to be,
from going to a stranger to a friend.
Yeah, we used to be so good at that. You would know everybody on your block, and that's not just us here in the U.S., but just society as a whole. But the nuclear family had split that apart, and then people became more and isolated. And I want more land, I want more property, and more. And here's what's funny. Places like New York and stuff, 8 million people or something like that. People in these mega cities are more alone than people who have 2 or 3 neighbors, you know, because it's, hey, you got a package coming in, you know, you want me to hold on to it for you? Yeah, sure. It was your neighbor in New York, you're like, which one of these dudes gonna steal my shit? Like, you know,
different mindset.
And now it's a different mindset, but you have to rely on them. Even if you don't want to, you need to rely on each other. Because when you call for help, whether your house is on fire or you're
falling and I can't get up,
your
cell phone on the other side of the room,
you got a motorcycle and it fall on you,
you're locked out of your house, you ain't got no sugar for your Kool-Aid. Like, we are not community. I get what you're saying. There's no more community. Where's the community?
Right.
Because it's
social
lonely
decay,
as hell.
all that stuff.
Yeah, social decay.
So all that stuff to say, you know, when I'm talking to people and stuff like that, in the way I'm not a huge small talk person either. I don't know my neighbors as well as I should, you know. But when you're interacting with people and stuff like that, hey, you know, have a pleasant day. Cool. Or when and guys know this, when the up nod versus the down nod, when you're simply acknowledging someone, you just nod at them. You exchange eye contact, you nod down, hey, I see you. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
When you know somebody, that's your boy, and you see them, even if you don't know their name, and that's the thing that's unique to guys, you don't know their name. But I've seen that dude on the bus a bunch. He go to that once class. Yeah, I know him. You know him? What's his name? I actually don't. But he knows. I seen his face, and he knows me, and I know him, and we
up
nod. Yeah, and we
exactly.
up nod. What's going on, man? And then y'all suddenly become the most best friends in the world. Like, you know, it's that little
weird
stuff, because you don't know what that person's going through. So you just
Yeah.
the fact that you acknowledge them, and like they saw
It
that
could
and
have made all the
give it
difference
back.
in the world.
You know, the guys are weird, but it's that stuff makes you smile. That's those wholesome moments that you like to read about, that gives you a little bit of faith in humanity. That's what that is.
And you make a good point, and it brings up something personal for me, because lately I have been walking past people and I feel like I am not setting the example. And again, flag on a religious play, but there's a whole lot of, in my belief system, there's a whole lot of talking about how to walk like Christ. And so, in a practical manner, why shouldn't I be saying hello to people that I see? And what makes it even worse, it's not just like randomly out in public, but anywhere in your neighborhood. So whether you live in apartments or condos or houses, at any point where you have to walk past or see other people that live in your community, in your neighborhood, in your area, you should acknowledge them. There should be a up nod, like Mobius said, to let them know, like, hey, like, you're here, I'm here, we're gonna be here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just like you said, anything can happen where you might need that one random stranger to help you. That's a lot of people that done died in apartments in New York, and nobody knew their ass was dead for a long time. And I'm sure this has happened all over the world, but that's just another one of them things. When we think about New York, it's too many people, it's too much going on. Like, it's a lot, and you probably are not being as kind and as open as you should be. And regardless of whether you live in a big town or a small town, we should be showing love in every way, every day. But even in just the simplest ways, I think is absolutely acceptable. Like, what are you giving back to society? And so, unless you got something else to say, I wanted to kind of get into my finishing topics.
Okay.
So, we were talking about love. What does it really mean?
That's all.
Okay, yeah. Like, what? What does love mean? So, people also ask, what is the true meaning of love? Google, they said they got it from lovebox.love. True love is a unique, passionate bond that connects you as a couple that wants the best for each other, for the other person, regardless of what that means for them. That's a good one. It is a foundation for a healthy, loving relationship. True love is authentic and genuine. Those things are just saying things. They're not explaining anything. But I think that's a good place to start. My next question to Google is, why is love so temporary? But I feel like part of the definition of what is true love, I already explained that. And I think that before I read it, I feel that would be the lacking of wanting the best for the other person, regardless. And I truly feel like that's something that it takes time. You have to want to get in that place within yourself of understanding of not only how you want to be treated, but how you should treat the others around you, because every other person around you is different. Everybody needs to be treated according, and not creating some general standard that's supposed to just let you get away with your bad behavior. Like, it's okay to be a gentleman, but if you meet a woman who doesn't want you to open doors for her because maybe some deeply rooted trauma, or she's just proud to be who she is, well, one way that you would be showing her love, displaying love and care for her, is by not opening the doors, because that's
shows
what
you're listening.
Yeah, you're listening. You're paying attention. That's care. And I feel like we're missing that in society. So when I click it, when I ask Google, why is love so temporary? Somebody, September 19, 2017, on Quora. Ultimately, nothing is temporary or permanent. Love has no allotted time period or restrictions, no boundaries. Love is boundless, timeless, and not at all reasonable. That sounds real poetic And it sounds like some bullshit. What is your 2 cents on that, Mobius?
Loves makes you do really irrational things. So
I understand
our
from that
favorite
point.
favorite character from The Last of Us, Joel, had the chance to potentially save the world by giving. Have you played that game again?
No.
Okay.
I'm so upset.
I mean, it's like 10 years old.
He had to give up what?
He had to give up. So
he had to give up his life?
No, he
corny.
lost his daughter during the early stages of the outbreak and stuff. And then like 20 years later, this girl that one of his partners is transporting secretly has the cure. Now, he doesn't know that. He's just told to, hey, drop this kid off in Seattle or wherever it is. And
safely,
and that's it. And he's like, all right, cool. You're just a package to me, like the transporter.
Hey, but then morals kick in.
But then no,
or compassion.
In the case of the transporter, he just seen and did something he shouldn't have done. So then he was like, I feel.
But who do we blame for that?
Right,
morals and compassion.
But in the case of The Last of Us, they spent so much time around each other that they inevitably became closer. Even if you don't like each other, because you have to rely. It's not just go from here to there, and it just takes a long time.
And it's life or death. But what did I say? It ain't not even just that. The consecutive time that you're spending with each other naturally grows a bond that could be deceptive, because it doesn't matter what the circumstance is. This is human proven facts. Okay, go ahead.
And so at the end of the game, he's told, hey, you know, she got bit years ago, or like months ago, and she didn't turn into a zombie, blah, blah, blah. We need to cut her brain open to try to scrape it for the cure or whatever. And the game doesn't give you a choice. You just kind of murk people and take her back. And you don't tell her until the second game, and then it turns into a whole thing. But if it gave you a choice, the choice would be, do I give up this person to save millions of the rest of humanity, or do I damn humanity and take this person back because now she's basically my daughter?
I wrote my own script with Mobius just giving me that 30 seconds of information. I already wrote my own script.
What?
We got to go find the scientists. We have to find the scientists that can try to make a cure with just your blood. There has to be a way to make a cure without cutting your fucking brain open and dissecting your heart and your lungs and your body.
Well, the whole
and that's what I would pursue.
This is 20 years after
everybody's dead from it,
basically, and so
it's even less urgent.
It's that the fact that there aren't any doctors left. These are
what
the game doesn't explicitly tell you.
Everybody's
that
dead.
These aren't even doctors; they're basically like veterinarians. But they're trying. And it doesn't tell you.
No,
and it doesn't tell
I'm not going to let her die in the hands of veterinarians.
That's what I'm saying. If you're paying attention, you find this. But the game doesn't explicitly tell you this. And so if it told you this up front, you're like, no, I'm going to take my daughter and we're going to bounce. But it's
they make it seem like you could save the world.
It's the hope. But the other side of the problem is she's unconscious while all this is happening. So at least if she had a choice, you could go, okay, I don't want to do that. And then you still might want to murk people. But if she made her own choice, you could respect that, even if you didn't want to. But you have to,
or try.
You're making the decision for her. And I
don't even know this bitch. This ain't even my child.
Right. Well,
so I ain't even nobody to be making this decision. At that point,
you've been together for like a year.
But she's my child now.
So, but
that's still hard.
It doesn't tell you
hard
that
choices.
Veterinarians, basically, not super duper doctor scientists, and it doesn't tell you how many people they've tried before her. You know, they're like, we've been trying for a long time. We think we're close.
Okay, you really into this video game. You know? Next,
but that's a moral dilemma, and
absolutely.
Because he went from not knowing this person to
a tinkling of love,
exactly. No,
that's all it took. No, I'm saying,
from saving her to becoming critically injured, and then she had to save him.
Nice,
you know, and she's like 12 or something. So
if you like this game, hit us on the Unknown Unknowns Instagram. Let us know.
So love makes you do irrational things.
And answer the question.
And this is
what
people,
irrational thing
like people,
have love made you do?
You know,
post that on Instagram.
Yeah.
What irrational thing has love made you do? If you send us a voice recording, we will play it on the next episode. If you write something to us, we'll talk about you because you're cool. Anyway, ChatGPT said, love can be temporary as it is a feeling that can change over time. People's feelings and emotions can change. And so their level of love for someone, additionally, different types of love, such as romantic love and platonic love, have different durations and intensities. Absolutely. And so that's why true love has to be rooted in a place that is not of emotion.
Expand.
Like a conscious decision.
Yeah.
Just non-emotional decision. Like, I am not only in love with you because of the way that you make me feel.
Being loving someone versus being
true.
In love.
Yes, the true love. This is
making
you came out of my body. No matter what you say or do, I will. I'm not going to say that in the recording, but it's going down. Like, I will defend you to the depths of me. Not because you have done this for me, because children literally have done nothing for you, but made your life a living hell for 9 months. Sorry, children. For I love you. For 18 years. You know, but anyway, y'all know what I'm trying to say. Like, there's levels to the shit. And ChatGPT is keeping it 100.
We had a $1:45.
I know.
We're wrapping up.
I know we're wrapping up. We're already wrapping up. You wanted to talk about that fucking video game for 5 minutes. Stay away from fake people.
Let me cook.
Who are you cooking?
I'm cooking.
Oh my gosh. A person who falsely claims to be or feel something can be said to be fake. When your friend acts sweet but push up and spread rumors about you behind your back, you can call her fake. Okay? When they be like, I got you, and then y'all get into a fight and they run. Anyway, watch out for fake people. We always want to wrap up on some good news, a good head, a good shoulder, a good thought. Set boundaries. A line that marks the limits of a area. You have to go down the list of all the people in your life, whether it's your mama, your sister, your brother, your auntie. If your interaction with them leaves you feeling drained, unloved, emotional, confused like you had a plan and now you rethinking your whole plan after the conversation with this person, you second guessing yourself, your thoughts and your actions, maybe you need to think about what type of boundaries you need to set for that person. And what do these boundaries look like?
Limiting access.
Just time spent on the call.
Yeah, just if it means taking a break for X amount of time.
Taking a break, setting the time.
You know, like I don't think taking talking to somebody for like 20 years. That's kind of long, but it depends on.
Even a year of not talking to somebody, right. Like you should be able to. They say it takes 14 days or 21 days to break a cycle. 21 days. Go with statistics. Like this shit is real out here. 7 days, 14 days. If you make it to that 21-day point, you should feel refreshed. You should feel like you want to talk to this person. You should be in a place within yourself where don't forget what it's going to be like, okay? Don't be delusional. But you know what you want from the conversation. You've created these boundaries. Okay, I'm going to check in with them. I want to talk to them. I want to hear their voice. I care about them. I'm going to check in with them. 5 minutes. Are you okay? Is everything well? I'm going to come up with my excuse of how I'm going to get off the phone with them. I'm going to lie. Somebody calling me on the other line. Like, you have to actively decide this is what you need to do. It's what you need to do. And it's for your mental health. It's protecting yourself.
Which is a valid reason. Don't be afraid to say that and to stand on that,
Yeah. I'm going to briefly touch on this. Go to DIFFEN.com. The difference between I am sorry versus I apologize. I really want y'all to take some time and do some research on that. We are at a close for the episode. But really look into the difference between I am sorry and I'm apologize. When you look these things up and you have the understanding, we have to take power over what we say out of our mouth. And maybe the next episode will be about communication, because that's also is what created the base of this episode, was how important communication is, being mindful of the words that you say out of your mouth.
And how you
and then right, and then understanding the way you communicate. Are you in fact toxic? So that's how the toxic conversation also kind of came up. We should always be working on ourselves. So I always want to end with something positive, and the Black news story that I found, so proud, September 12th, 2023. Meet the founder whose platform uses AI to support Black women mentally and emotionally. I found this story on the blacknews.com website. I hope I'm not butchering her name. Shout out to Naima Smalls, Nijiama, founder and CEO of Black Girl's Guide to Healing Emotional Wounds. Just reading that, I hope that you're being really sincere in what you're trying to do. And it's excellent. It's absolutely excellent. But what's scary is that she has launched a virtual platform that innovatively uses AI wellness coach named Rashida to connect Black women to an array of mental and emotional health resources. That's a little weird. I don't know if I want a computer to be my therapist. But I want to give you your kudos. You are a Black woman. You are an intelligent Black woman. You are an amazing representative for what Black women can do in this day and age. We are smart. We are fearless. We are amazing. And that's what we want to focus on with here at the Unknown Unknowns. Not only what the problem is, going down the spiral, but figuring out how can we evolve in a positive manner for our community so we can live long and prosper. Mobius, thank you for your time and your energy, always being here. My brother, Young King, I love you so much.
I got one. Coco Gauff is an American tennis player. She's killing it right now in American tennis. So,
American tennis player? What does that mean?
She's American born, and she's a tennis player. And
yeah.
She's just destroying.
And what's her race?
Huh?
And what's her race?
She's Black.
This guy. Yes, Trump. This American tennis player, we love her. Okay.
She's killing it
how
right
old?
now.
She's a youngin'?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so shout out to the next future, y'all. You know we care about y'all. We trying to get in touch with you.
I shout her out because they was trying to play her. She was playing some match not too long ago, and the referee just was letting the opponent get away with basically murder on the court, like taking extra long times to serve, false starts, stuff like that. Shenanigans. And people were calling out the referee to the point where Coco herself walked up and was like, "What are you doing? Like, are you blind?
Do you hate me? Are you blind or do you hate me?
Do you want to start doing your job?" And she was like, "Oh, blah blah blah," and they're like, "All right." So shout out to her. She ain't give up. She out here taking names. So
slapping hoes.
Yeah.
Shenanigans. Yeah, I mean, Black women are amazing. We out here, we're creating amazing things. Continue to believe in yourself, guys. It's the unknown motherfucking unknowns. We here for the fall, and we ain't going nowhere.